Welcome back to Rococo Couture. Today we're going to talk about concept development. Concept development is about giving a room a theme or a story to make it more memorable and special. This is a multi-generational home. The architectural style is in the sort of 1500s, 1600 French country style. So if we come inside, we'll see this painting here is Italian painting. And you have a similar style house, orange roof, green window frames, textured brick, set in the lush countryside of France. And that's sort of what we have out here, except it's suburban Brisbane. Behind that, gardens the road. So not quite the countryside, but you kind of, standing here, you wouldn't know. So back inside, now the concept of this room is a little bit deeper than that. If you look at this sign, Little Prince Salon by Rococo Couture. In English, the Little Prince Salon by Rococo Couture. Now, the Little Prince, it might ring a few bells for you. It was a storybook, kind of illustrated, written around 1943 from memory, first published in English, translated from French, at 1946. Sold 120 million copies worldwide. It's a big story, and if you haven't read the book, I guarantee you should go pick one up and check it out. Or if you're too lazy for that, jump on a Netflix and there's a film about it, and it's very good. So it makes a great concept for this particular room. Okay, so in the entrance, you'll also see these panels by Rococo Couture, and that is something you'll see pop up in our catalog in the near future. I'll just shut the doors, so we'll bear with me for a minute. Okay, so a little background. The Little Prince, he's this character, he lives on an asteroid. He one day finds a rose growing in his asteroid. And so the first thing we reference is that particular character, the rose. That's it right here. And he falls in love with this rose. But the rose is vain, and they had these arguments, and he decides to leave the asteroid. And he catches a flock of migrating birds, which we've referenced in the form of ducks. Now, they reference the French countryside or the countryside, lots of ducks. And there's a yellow duck over there, and another white duck over there. But they reference that particular character in The Little Prince, this group of migrating birds, ducks. And some of the artwork, we've got migrating birds. Those might be swans, or what are they called? I forget, not swans, but migrating birds nonetheless. So he leaves his planet, his asteroid, and he goes to another asteroid, and he meets this character called the King. And the King kind of thinks he rules the universe from these asteroids, and we've referenced that character with this tea set here. So you can sit in the lounge chair and think you're the King. And so that's one character, and then he leaves that asteroid after he's sick of the King, and he goes to another asteroid and he meets a drunkard. So to reference that character, we have this drinking table. After he talks to the drunkard and finds out what the drunkard's problem is, he moves from that asteroid via the birds to another asteroid where he meets the lamplighter. So back in that period, before electrical streetlights, some guy had to go light these things manually. So to reference this diligent character, we have these gold candlesticks, and that reference the lamplighter and his diligence. He does leave the lamplighter, and he does meet a businessman. And this is a central feature in this room, is my table where I work. And the businessman sits behind this, and he has this conversation with the Little Prince how he owns the stars. And so to reference the stars, we have the chandeliers. One there, one up there. Basically, every room has chandeliers to reference the stars. And in the distance of the chandeliers, we have the pediments above the windows and doors, and they're garnished with stones. And in the light, the stones twinkle and kind of just also reference more stars. So the Little Prince, stars are a big thing. He likes watching the sunrise, sunset, and we reference that with sunrise from the sunrise side in the form of a tile at the entranceways. Another one over here. And we reference sunset with some brass panels where in the direction that the sun sets on the west. Okay, so after meeting these characters, he goes to Earth, where we live. And he makes some new friends. He meets a fox, and I haven't got any fox motives yet, but we have this painting in the forest, which is kind of the scene where he meets the fox. And the fox teaches him a particular secret that what's invisible is important. And we've referenced that with these sort of heavenly sort of scenes with angel or angelic shelves. You'll see them sort of scattered everywhere. Even the small pediments above the doors over there. Also angels. The resurrection of Christ in heaven. Something you don't see but very important. So that theme is very central to the book and probably the most important thing. So we reference that in the room. He does crash land in the desert. So you can see the yellow walls, the tiles are very sandy to reference the desert. So basically the aim of the game is to take an artwork and take the characters, the motives, the themes, the aspects of the artwork and use that to decorate your room, to pick your colors and objects and furniture. He does meet the snake in the desert, so we have a little snake skin in here from a snake that lives outside in the garden. And yeah, that's basically it. So you start off, I'll show you over here, with the book. And you just start brainstorming some of the motives, some of the themes. He makes his friend called the Aviator. And to reference the Aviator, we have this old school projector, that blue projector. A little projector set where I can watch little movies on Netflix from my desk while I work. So you just want to take the characteristics of those characters and translate them into objects. So you might want to narrow it down. It's a bit of a process of trying to work out what translates to what, but that's basically it there. Yeah, so like the Little Prince as a salon also kind of references the Prince Salon in the Hotel de Sorbis in Paris. And these are some of the rooms, and they're Rococo rooms. So I felt that was one of the reasons why I picked this particular theme for this room, to reference the Prince Salon. Now in the desert, he finds that water is a particular important thing. So we have paintings referencing water and little spaces where he will put more signs. The Little Prince Salon room. And I haven't finished the paneling, but that's where you put quotes from the book just to tell that story. And they're at the level at which a child would be. So a child would be the first one to notice another theme in the book. So they would run along the bottom walls in between the panels with a fine Rococo Couture plaster lettering in gold. We haven't got there yet, but we will. So you can plan out your room from a concept and then you can bring it to life. And Rococo Couture will help you with that. So he does like butterflies, for instance. He keeps a few around his rows for a little decor. So this is the butterfly garden. It's one of the products of Rococo Couture, and it features these blue butterflies. I'll just give you a little close up there so you can have a look. We also reference the roses that he does find on Earth. Finds a lot of roses, not like his, but that's how he knows that his is special. So we try to make plaster motifs to reference some of these aspects, some of these characters, and it gives a deeper meaning to the art. And yeah, so that's how you translate an artwork into a room. And you can add to it. Like for instance, he's traveling asteroid to asteroid, just as we might travel country to country. So you might pick different things from different countries to sort of illustrate the traveling aspect, whether it's Japan, Philippines, China, Italy, Holland, Venice. There's a Trojan horse over there. Yeah, so you don't have to be so literal, but you can take the idea of something and use that to drive your decor items. And we're happy to talk about that with you and help you out there, give you ideas and enjoy vicariously what you're doing. And we love that. So thank you for spending the time here with Rococo Couture, and we hope that we will help you in the future develop your own concept for your own drawing rooms and your own salons. And thank you again for tuning into Rococo Couture. Have a good night.